are here with Welcome to Holyland, and I'm Brankica. Hello, guys. Can you introduce yourselves? How are you?
Oh, we're fine. Happy with the release. Counting down for the release date. Yeah,
Yes.
everything is going well. So
Excited.
excited. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes. Very nice, very nice. So, how does it make you feel? I know it's going to be released on March 31st. Am I correct?
24th,
Oh,
March
because
24th.
because I saw something on your Facebook page and I was thinking it was March 31st,
Yeah, that's the
right?
release show. That's the release show.
Oh, yes, that was, yes, yes,
Uh,
yes,
The
yes.
album will be available on CD and on digital platforms like Spotify and Deezer on the 24th of March.
Oh, yes, yes, because I totally mixed that. I was convinced it was going to be released that. My mistake. My apologize.
No problem.
So, tell me, as far as I know, the band is formed in 2015. Can you tell me more about the beginning of the band? There is not a lot of info, unfortunately, on the internet. And you're really, hard to find. Out there, not a lot of info. But can you tell me more about what was happening uh, before the beginning and how did you start all of it?
Well, we play together since 2007, something. No, 2002.
Actually, 99. 1999.
1999, and we started at school with a band, just a heavy metal band. Then this was transformed into a more thrash core band.
Yeah, yeah.
After this, we released a small demo tape with that one, and then we moved on towards something more experimental. Post metal, doomy atmosphere, psychedelic.
We were called Zeus Walks the Earth at that time.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I read about it, but as I said, not a lot of info. That's why I wanted to hear more
yeah,
about that.
we are not very good at marketing and social media.
Me neither, so don't worry about that. Yeah.
And then I took a break for a year or two.
Yeah, Zeus Walks the Earth quit in 2013, and we all had like 2 years of break. And in 2015, I started talking with Geert, our bass guitar player, who also was the bass guitarist of Zeus and our previous Inca bands. And we wanted to Doom again. And at first we had another guitar player vocalist, but after a year he quit. So we asked Peter van, hey Peter, come back to us. And so actually the circle was round again at that time. And since then we're playing together. Yeah, the main goal was to make very heavy, slow music, a bit of a mix of riffing and but also atmospheric parts, but less experimental than Zeus Walks the Earth. And yeah, in 2018,
Yeah.
we recorded our demo. Yeah, that came out, I don't know, somewhere in April 2018. And 1 year later, it got re-released on tape. The first edition was 150 CDs, and those went very well. They were well received in the underground, local underground mostly. And yeah, then we took our time to write new stuff, new material. We have the COVID pandemic, of course, that gave us some delays. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been 5 years since the demo and our full album. But yeah, we made it.
Yes,
We are not in a rush, just like
No.
our music.
Yeah.
We are slow.
yeah, you just go with the inspiration and you are trying to adjust yourselves to the circumstances, I guess. When mentioning COVID, I heard that also influenced a lot of many, even, so big bands such as Fear Factory and many, many others. So it was really hard, but I think, as I said in one of my previous interviews, I think a lot of musicians actually used that time to create. So not everything was bad, actually. It was quite the opposite, like the final outcome. What do you think about that?
We rewritten actually most of our songs during that time. We had enough songs for a full album, but when the pandemic period was happening, we realized it could be better. So at that moment, we split up all the songs and took the best parts, added new stuff, and actually during those 2 years, we completely rewritten all the songs we had. And the end result is now the album Ominous.
Yeah, and you also did Nachtmaar.
Yeah, I had a solo project. It's not really a solo project. I worked together with other musicians. To keep myself busy because rehearsals were not happening. There were no concerts, so I had to do something. So I decided to write a black metal album. Inspired by the good old 90s second wave Scandinavian black metal. So that release was 2 months ago. So I was not bored actually. I did write a lot of music.
It's great to hear. Yes, I actually I wanted to ask you about that one. You are also a part of a collective, right?
Yes.
Yes, that was I wanted to ask you about. So you can give me more insight. Speaking of that.
Well, that also started in the pandemic period. I started that new project. I'm also active in another band called Klude. Our bass guitar player of that band also started with a COVID project, and we have a lot of stuff. Our other guitar player has his own black metal project, so we were thinking from let's connect it all together and use it as start up this little collective, help each other a bit, and it's called Tenra Collectivum, which is actually the umbrella of all our bands and projects we have. If plans with Tenra Collectivum are to release maybe some albums, like my Nachtmaar project came out as a first release of Tenra Collectivum. We're also gonna do some small concerts, like the release party is under that name, in cooperation with No Name Collective, another collective who organizes concerts. So we work together, and it's small, it's modest, but it exists, and the main goal of it is actually to support and make more reclame,
publicity.
Publicity,
and
more
support,
reach.
Support the scene.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Actually, when you mentioned Clued, I was also listening to the new release, and I like it very much. I am very picky when it comes to black metal. I like it to be atmospheric, because it's simply I like to, some people usually, my friends, they like more raw things, like, I don't know, Darkthrone, like Marduk and other bands similar, but I like more atmosphere, more progressive things. And I really noticed some even blues elements. Like, it has so many layers when you listen to it, but you cannot notice it just like that. You have to really get into it to use headphones. It has so much more layers than people actually think when they're listening to, just casually without paying attention. You can also tell me more about that.
When I started, I actually wanted to do something minimalistic, but I had this little synthesizer and I started experimenting with it, and it was too tempting to add more and more layers, and I really had fun with it, creating the music. So I said from, yeah, okay, there's like 8 layers of synthesizer, 6 layers of guitars at some parts. So it's really layered. It's not complex, but layered. And yeah, I agree. If you listen to it with the headphone, you will find a lot of stuff you don't hear. Like this, there's a lot of details hidden in the mix on purpose, because I really wanted, when we did the mix, so yeah, this has to be like very subtle and this had to be louder. So yeah, it's really better if you listen with the headphones. But yeah, it was fun.
Everything. Yeah, I really enjoyed, because I was thinking, wow, I haven't listened to something like that for a long time. And finally, I found something that was really interesting to me. It was really hard to find a good band. And, usually it can happen to probably some bands at the beginning. They want to probably put so many layers to make their sound more progressive. But people can easily get mistake, and they can overdo it. You know what I mean? They wanted to sound like progressive, and they kind of lost themselves in what they were trying to say. But I like when someone really knows what they are doing, and it's really just perfect for me, at least. I also recommend. You're welcome. Yeah, I recommended it to my friends. They are also into those things. Yeah, and about that release show, it's going to be Clued, right? And welcome to Holyland. Yeah, you can tell more about it. I think your fans and people who are trying to get into the band for the first time would appreciate more info on this.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why we have done it is under the umbrella of Tenera Collective. So there are 2 bands releasing an album within the same period. So also to cut costs a bit, it's and to gather more people, because the people who support us support and Glodde and Welcome to Holyland. So that's why we have chosen that formula. And also people can expect 2 completely different bands. Welcome to Holyland is, as mentioned, quite slow, quite heavy sounding, but then quite the opposite. You have Glodde, who is fast forward, 100 kilometers an hour, lots of variations. So it will be an exciting experience for the audience who will show up.
Excellent. Yeah, it's really nice. And is it going to be in Ghent, right? Am I right?
Yes, it's in Ghent, yeah.
Nice. Honestly, too bad I wasn't there, but I was looking at some documentary about the city, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I was there. I would definitely go and see the band. It would mean a lot to me. Yeah, definitely. It's all about the finances, but I mean, I will try. Yes. So tell me about Welcome to Holyland. What made you decide to go more into that sludgy, doomy sound? Is there some kind of event or some kind of let's say circumstance or some inspiration, other influences, something that just made you, okay, we are going more for that. That's our sound, definitely. Can you tell me more about what led you to go for that kind of sound?
Yeah, that's for me definitely Colan, Job, and Bong Ripper. Those 3 bands are my unholy trinity in the stoner doom genre. And I was so inspired by those bands in the early 2010s that I really said, I want to play this type of music. So yeah, that's actually the reason. Colan, it's one of my favorite bands. I love the sound. I love the heaviness. Same with Job, the atmospheric parts. And I really love that genre. It's not only black metal for me. I'm pretty open-minded, but those made such an impression on me. It had a really big impact. So yeah, I down-tuned the guitar and I told Geert van let's do 'em again. And so we started with Holyland. Welcome to Holyland.
Yeah, and he talked me into this.
Yeah.
You were just following him.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yes.
Well, you like it. It's a cool genre.
That's for sure.
That's great. But tell me about your previous. You told me about your previous bands before you started all that. How hard is it to shape your sound and to improve yourself to be your best self? Let's say. How hard was you? I mean, if you go back to that days when you were beginner, to that day when you kind of finally started the band, and then now, how many phases were there actually? Can you guide me through that?
A lot.
There are a lot of phases. Call it like, we were in high school and we were listening to metal bands, all the classics, of course, and the big four, and then some European thrash bands, and then we picked up the guitar. You were immediately into black metal. I was more into thrash metal and heavy metal, and then what you do then is you try to play as fast as you can.
Yeah.
I bought my first guitar of Peter when I was 15 or 16 years old, right before we started playing in a band. Yeah. And that's also how I got to know him. There was this little
record store.
In a record store, he put this picture on a wall van, I sell my guitar. So I saw that picture, I want this guitar. I called him and we became friends. I bought a guitar, we became friends. A bit later, in '99, his first band, Witchhammer, was done, and I just started a new band. I said, "Hey Peter, do you want to come play in my new band?" Sure. And Peter joined, but nothing happened with that band. I could not even play guitar. I think most of the riffs I learned from Peter at that time. It was how do you take a barré chord? So you have to put your fingers like this. So it was really like a learning project. Yeah. Nothing happened in that band. We had a lot of fun, but we never finished a full song in 2 years.
But at the top,
it was the beginning.
At the top of our skill set, I think it was 2006-07. Then we were really playing fast and quite technical riffs, but then once you get tired of it, and then you say, let's do a bit less. And then we started collecting pedals and adding some reverb, adding some delay, and then it ended up in Zeus Walks the Earth. And then now it's just we are stripping it to the very, very basic. Trying to, if we have a riff with, a chord progression of 4, we try to strip it down to 2 chords.
But it works well, I must admit.
In the 2000s, it was more like a thrash metal, metalcore, something in between the style we played. It was pretty technical for me. And fast.
Yeah, bands like Heaven Shall Burn and
Killswitch
Engage were very hot at that time.
Also Slayer, Sepultura, that kind of stuff. Like a big mishmash. And then it went more like the beginning of Zeus Walks the Earth was
when we discovered ISIS.
Yeah, indeed. And Mastodon, the beginning of Mastodon. But then at some point with Zeus Walks the Earth, it became very experimental. Like our last songs we made, it did not even have riffs. It was more like ambient soundscapes, songs without a climax, just experimental stuff. At some point we were a bit stuck in it.
Because we could not record this because we didn't remember how to play it.
Yeah. We made these rehearsals and we listened to it. It was one, this is really good. And then we tried to play it again and it did not work anymore. But actually, we had a whole full album after, or we made one vinyl, a split vinyl with another band at that time. And after that, I think we had 5 or 6 songs, enough for a full album, but we never recorded it. We did play them live, but every time it was like a little bit different. There was a lot of improvisation in it.
It was hard to record that feeling we had. Sometimes it was like, this is it, we nailed it, let's do it again. It never happened again.
It sounds familiar. I also have certain things. Yes. Yeah, I also tried, I also wanted to learn to play guitar, but I quickly lost my nerves. And then I realized I am much better at screaming and growling. And people be like I recently started with classes, and people be like, whoa, did you consider making a band? Because this is like, I can't believe you did this after the first class. I was like, well, man, a lot of rage. Well, use it. Do something with your life, Yeah. So I also noticed you also use screaming and growling. I have noticed. How hard was it to you? I mean, it's not really. I heard a lot of people had big problems, man, with their voice. Even some of them had operations.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit tricky, but I think maybe people would find it important. I know a lot of people who started doing that, even some of my female friends. And could you tell us something a little bit more about it and how it affected you? I mean, your voice, and how did you shape it over time?
Actually, I never wanted to be a vocalist. But since our vocalist, our singer, quit in 2016, it was Wim, try it. Okay, I'm gonna try it. But I have to say, it was very awkward in the beginning. I had a lot of nerves. Like the demo, it's very minimalistic. I don't use a lot of vocal lines, but I kind of found pretty fast what I could do and what I could not do with my voice. It's a bit limited. I can only do the heavy voice. But on the new album, there's a bit more variation in my singing, I think. Some friends say that I made progression. For me, I cannot. I don't know. I'm just trying, and I also started late. I was already 36, and that was really the first time I did the vocals. I never did vocals before, so it's still a learning. Process. As long as you learn, I think you discover new things, new ways to use your voice. So. See how it goes.
I'm always
I like it. It's fun.
I think it perfectly matches, with what you're trying to say in the songs, and generally with the atmosphere of the whole album. Like it really makes sense. And the variations you mentioned on the album, I was pretty much, I was definitely satisfied with that. It's really perfectly blended for me, my personal taste, definitely. And tell me more about the recording process. Like, how does your day in the studio look like in general? Like, do you have some fun? I always like to know that. I'm sorry. Do you have some fun before? I also mentioned, I know some bands that usually just meditate before everything. Some of them just go for a beer and chill. Everyone has their own way to, deal with it and with the stress. How do you do it?
Well, we are just guys, and and we wanted to try to catch our organic sounds, but we didn't want to go into a studio. And we have met Jonas, who is the engineer of it, he mixed our band live a couple of times and said, yeah, I can record too. So sure, let's record in the rehearsal studio then. And I saw him scratching his head. Like, are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, we're sure. And then we did some improvising on, doing it like we do in a rehearsal. And he really was committed to make it work. And we were well prepared, but we were very relaxed. Yeah, we were. It was in May, days, eh? May last year, and the sun was shining, and we were shooting cans with a lead gun, drinking a beer, doing stuff.
Sounds like a nice day.
Playing a song. Let's take a break, sit outside on the terrace, and relaxed. We don't have this particular way of meditating, and no, that's not our thing. We're just guys playing music.
We did record everything live, so we did not do it in different takes. Everything was live recorded except for the vocals and some lead guitars. So we really wanted to have a raw, natural feeling, but it had to be very raw, and it could sound ugly, not polished. That we did not want. It had to be natural. So we just played like we always play our songs live or in the rehearsal room, and we tried to capture that live sound in the recording. And I think Jonas did a very good job in doing that. We really have the sound that we want. Like with the demo we made 5 years ago, we also did it live, and that also we were also still happy about the result of the demo.
Yeah.
And now we're again happy with the sound of Ominous, and it's different. I think it's a little bit better. It's a little bit more clear. The sound, we're happy, we're satisfied.
Yeah.
Jonas did a very good job. He was a very cool guy to work with, and
he was committed, and and we just wanted to do the DIY feel. Not too complicated. Just let's do it as good as we can, and
a raw aggression.
Yeah, I like that, honestly. I just like when bands do like this, but because you cannot, you can totally feel when something is like perfectly polished, like to impress the audience and whatnot. And I don't like it, seriously, especially when it's because of the, to attract someone. Like I think I pretty much recognize the bands who like that, who go for that raw sound, who stay true to themselves, like no matter what. I really greatly appreciate it. That's why I was like thinking, like, oh my God, some of the bands, I like to see them live because I like that rough sound. I don't even care about the, how they sound like. It doesn't matter. It's probably, to me, it's more raw and fresh than on the record. It's super produced to sound perfect, and it's like not my thing to sound that perfect. That's why I like that distortion, give me everything and all the rawness possible.
Yeah.
That's great. And tell me, I think it is different for many bands. I have noticed, the bands I've interviewed at least. So what does come first in your situation? Do you get the inspiration for the lyrics, or you get the melody in your head? What comes first in that process?
The riffs,
yeah.
Yeah, because some of the bands, be like, no, like the lyrics go first. That's why I wanted to know what's for you. I've noticed that probably you get that riff idea. Okay, and how does go that process of writing when you get the riff?
Well,
in your
mostly Peter and me, we make the riffs, then we go to rehearsal or we record them already at home on the PC. Yeah. We send them in the group chat, and then they get evaluated from, this is a good one, this one, And with the good riffs, we start rehearsing. Then we try to make the puzzle. Maybe put that riff with that riff and see if it flows, if it's good. And when you reach a structure that you have like a song, then at that moment I start thinking about vocal lines and text, because like I said, I'm not really a vocalist. I never wanted to do it, so it's really hard for me. I need the song, then I get an idea, or he gives me an idea and write something about that.
Yeah.
And then I make like a simple text, not too complicated. But mostly I do hear some vocal lines on the riffs. When there's like a very cool riff, it's already in my mind, so okay, something like that. But writing the lyrics is for me the biggest. Sometimes difficult to write the right lyrics.
Kind of challenge, right?
Yeah, challenge. I could not find the word.
Yes. Why do you feel it like a big challenge? Why does it make you feel like it's a big challenge for you to write it?
I think it's because you're not used to singing.
I never was a vocalist, and I never wrote lyrics before Welcome to Holyland. So for me, it still feels like pretty new.
I see.
I manage sometimes inspiration, like the lyric of Ominous is pretty funny. I was watching a horror movie, and these subtitles for people who cannot hear, that they describe the sounds. So I was thinking thunder, lightning, fire crackling, frogs croaking, that kind of stuff. Well, I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect lyric for that song. So I started to write down all these little sentences, and that became the lyric of the song, and it works perfectly. That's sometimes happens like that. Sometimes I had this cat for 17 years, and she died 2 years ago. So I said, I'm gonna write a lyric to honor my cat. And for that, I did some work. It was not written like in a couple of days. I really took my time. I think it's my best lyric. But you have the vocal line in your head, and then you need to find the right sentences that match with what's in your head. So that's a bit difficult.
Definitely.
Not every sentence is the right sentence for what you have in your mind to try out. So.
It's like you want to say so much, but you just can't put it on the paper just like that, right?
Yeah.
There is some kind of barrier you have to overcome to make it perfect, like the way you really want, right?
Yeah.
I
try.
Yeah. I also wrote some poems on my own, but nothing to be published. I just wanted to say, to me, it was helpful to read a lot, especially Oscar Wilde, Baudelaire, something like that. And you kind of notice that, some usually some darker stuff. And then I just, when I had COVID last year, suddenly I woke up at 3 a.m. and just there are already, lyrics in my head. And I just put it on paper, no overthinking, nothing. It was just like, boom, like sudden inspiration. You have to use it. Like it doesn't matter when it comes to you. I think that's a good thing. How do you connect, for example, art, books, movies, anything you watch in general? How does it reflect on the band? And do you think it also has connection with your lyrics occasionally or mostly? Is there kind of connection to that?
There are two kinds of lyrics we have. We have the humorous lyrics. We'll start with the first one, Phoenix Rising. This concerns a male morning problem.
Yeah, I read about it. I was like, okay, this was fun.
Sounds serious. And then we have the Queen of Green is about
smoking weed.
Yeah, of course. It should be honored. Yeah.
It's a cliche in stoner doom, but that was one of the, yeah, we were playing Stoner Doom. All those bands, they're singing about weed and wizards and aliens. So yeah, we're gonna do the same. From there on we started, but yeah, we have, it's nothing to, it's very light. There's a lot of humor in it.
Yeah.
We don't mind. It doesn't have to be too dark all the time, but we do have dark lyrics too.
Yeah, but
or serious.
We don't really connect to movies and books. We connect to, I think, the way we just live.
Yeah.
What do you do? Or you know what? You remember the time when we had this? Yeah, that was very funny. You know, something that happened. Like for example, Arizona Dust was about a trip to Arizona. And nature called.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah, I heard there is a woman's voice, and as far as I understood, she is from Navajo tribe. So
Correct.
this song is actually an homage to the tribe, which I think it's great. And I was like amazed by that because I haven't seen many bands do that, honestly. So I think it definitely is very significant. So you can tell me everything about it. I also like tribes very much.
Yeah, I was in, it was in 2018 or 17. I was in Arizona. I was in Wyoming then. And in a bar in Pinedale, I think, I bumped into Mike and Angie. We became friends. We had fun nights. And then the year after, I went to visit them with my family to them. And Angie is a Native American. And we went to their house and their community. And her mom, who has done the spoken word, is a village elder, which is very respected in their community. And I asked Angie if she would like to, tell something about the Navajo tribe in the original Diné language, which is not spoken a lot anymore. But
sadly, yeah.
But she knows it, and what she does is in the lyric, in the text, she speaks about how nature is important for her, and that she prays to Father Sky and Mother Earth. And I thought it perfectly fit the song. Because it happened in Arizona, and that's their home territory. They lived there for thousands of years, and now they are just somewhat left out. I think I can say that. And they do their utter best to protect their heritage, because people are not really. They have their Western values are given to them at school, but there is also a community which is fighting to protect their heritage. And we thought it was a good idea to give them the opportunity to speak their language and tell something about their way of living in this song.
Definitely. I feel like you gave a perfect example what many bands should follow. I think, and if, as far as I'm concerned, I think it would be a great idea if we could invent something to help those people. Like if there is some way, right now I cannot think of anything, but like maybe if we involve more bands in it, and make some, collect some money, make some kind of foundation, raise money. I think maybe we can do something for these people, because earlier when I was using Instagram back then, I met some people from other tribes, and, they are still being killed over the, property and everything else. They're going to be exterminated. And I really wouldn't like it to happen, and if there is something, I would really like to participate in that. And I think I would, like to invite other bands to do something more about these people and to make them speak their language and to live better. I think that can happen if more people participate.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that would be a good idea, because once you talk to Native American people, you encounter also the struggles they're facing every day.
Exactly.
Basically, their land was taken,
Stolen.
people were kidnapped to send them to European schools, because what I've heard from the people, from the native people, say they don't say the Americans, they say when the Europeans came. That's what they say. When the Europeans came, all changed. So, and then they made some treaties with the Europeans, and then you say, okay, this is your part of the land, and then they find gold and say, no, in fact, it's no longer your land, it's back our land again. So they are a minority, and they are treated like a minority, and there are some challenges, I think, and just awareness is important to them. Awareness, like, okay, we have our heritage and we want to protect that.
Exactly. Yes, I just wanted to say, if you get some idea about that and how to help them, I would gladly participate, and I would involve more people, and I'm pretty sure that all of my friends would participate too. So if there is need, yeah.
That will be nice. We will send some copies of the disc, so in any way to Arizona, and hopefully it makes them proud as well, because we have done this with the best intentions.
Yeah, that would be great. If you remember anything else, just inform me, and I would totally support it in the best way I can. Either it's money or something else. I would be glad to help. Cool. Yes. And also, I wanted to ask you about the song. So the three last songs actually are a bit different from the other songs. I have noticed that, especially in the progressiveness, in the atmosphere. And my favorite song is Insomnia, because it perfectly depicts my state over the last few months, or all my life, basically. Who am I lying to? I'm constantly that way, sadly. And can you tell me more about that song? Because it's perfect for me. The riffs, the way you created the atmosphere, you can easily feel that the song is presenting what it says it does. Can you give me more insight into that one?
Insomnia.
Yeah.
It started with adding some white noise. The beginning is like, the constant buzz you hear throughout the song is the white noise, and some people use that when you have insomnia. And then for the rest, Wim, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I used to have use a lot of chemicals in my 20th years, and when I was 29, I decided to quit with that. It was fun. No, it's fine. Sometimes I had nights that I did not sleep for 2 nights, 3 days being awake. So it's a bit about that, but it's about the moment that I decided to quit doing that stuff and get my life back normally. At that point, that's what the song is about. But I also had a friend who was almost every day at my place at that time. He was also very an addict. And when I was writing the lyric of Insomnia, we did not have contact for almost 10 years. At some point, he was also a colleague of me at work. We heard that he committed suicide. He was having a lot of psychological problems, and I wrote a new piece of lyric for the song also to remember him, to honor him. So it's actually really my darkest lyric, I think, of Welcome to Holland, very serious. But it's also about hope, because it's not really the moment that I said, "Van, now it's finished. I stopped doing that. I'm gonna rebuild my life and be normal. I'm done with it." So that moment, that part, that's where the song is about. And yeah, to honor my old friend, because we spend a lot of time in those fuzzy years. Yeah. So yeah, it's dark. It's really dark, that lyric, and the song is also really dark. But it's a good thing. It's about quitting with it. It's not.
Not about using substances.
Yeah, not about using. It's about quitting and getting your life back in order. That's what it's about. And an honor to my friends who passed away.
That's great that you definitely did it to show your respect, and also it's like that period of your life that is over for you. So I'm glad you stopped it. It's a really, really big success, because it was hard too. I lost also many friends, because of, alcohol, drugs, and everything. So it's really a huge success to do that, to stop with all that. Yeah. And yes, tell me about how do you imagine, your sound in the future? Do you feel like you will have more experiments on the sound? Do you already have ideas for your, future albums? What comes to your mind when you think about the future of the band?
I think it will be a natural evolution. We already have some riffs ready for starting to write new materials, and I think we will create more and more of our own sound, more recognizable. But do we already know, like, the next album should be more ambient, atmospheric, or it can only be hammered down, low, slow pounding music? We'll see, I think. We'll see.
We do not plan to change the style, but it can, of course, have an evolution. Like, if you see the evolution from the demo songs to the songs of Ominous, they're a little bit more compact. They're not as long, not as repetitive as the songs of the demo, but it's still exactly the same style, and we did not change actually in our sound or in our style. But so yeah, it will go naturally. The riffs we have are really heavy, typical Welcome to Holyland riffs. So from there we will start and create new songs. So we will just follow the path we're walking.
Yeah, that's more natural, I guess. Yeah, I like the fact, as I said, that you didn't lose your initial sound you wanted to come up with, but also there is more diversity, which is definitely significant. But you stayed true to yourself. That's great, and I think definitely your fans will respect that and recognize that, definitely. And tell me, what are your thoughts on influence of the social media? I call it generally necessary evil, but yeah, there we are. I mean, all around us, sadly. But what do you think about the influence of social media on the band? I mean, on the bands or on the individuals? How do you imagine the future? When it comes to music, when it comes to all that mixture.
I think that's a very tough question. Necessary evil sometimes fits exactly what it is. On the other hand, it also makes it very easy to reach an international public just like that.
True.
Concerning music, it's nice to discover bands, but it is also made very easy to just click it away, like after 5 seconds, not giving a chance to a musician. Like, yeah, I don't like the first 5 seconds, so skip. So I think we should. It's there, and I think it can be used in a very good way. But we are not experts in it.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I just think, when I spoke recently, you probably know about the Enemy of Reality from Greece, and they're symphonic metal, very nice, a lot progressive. And I spoke to Iliana, and she told me it was way easier earlier for the bands. Like you could just, post the song on the Facebook or on YouTube, and it would be wow. Today, there are a lot of social media, a lot of content, a lot of good bands, but they don't really get enough attention, I feel. And why do you think? Why do you think that's the problem? What's the problem in that? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? A lot of good bands. I barely found, some good bands on Spotify. There are tons of the bands, and you cannot really come to some interesting bands, unless you are doing interviews, and then you get the promos. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
I think I'm afraid it's also a money thing. If you want to be on the top results in Google, then yeah,
You have to pay for it.
you have to pay for it.
Facebook, same. Yeah.
Facebook, Google, Instagram, whatever, they don't work for free. So if you want to get up there, you have to invest money, or you have to go viral, as you call it. But yeah, I think it mainly concerns money. If you want to have big exposure, then you will need to have worldwide exposure for the mass public. I think you need to invest money. Otherwise, we have to do it just like what we are doing right now. So you find people who are willing to give you the opportunity to have a platform for some minutes, and you create your audience and say you're going to post it here and there. And we're very thankful for that. Also, we have the record label. We say, okay, we have the record label. We believe in what you have created. Again, we are very grateful for that. And that way, we try to reach an audience. But I'm also 100% sure if you invest €1 million on promo and marketing, you will end up at big festivals just like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's not fair, like for the people and the bands who are really, quality, or they're trying to do something good, and it turns out all about the money and a lot of content, which is not always that good, and
Yeah.
I feel like with the appearance of the smartphones, people became more alienated. They're not just like, they don't want to, they're not even friendly anymore. I go to the shows, whenever I have time and money, and people are just, stuck in their phones mostly, and it's so kind of sad, like seeing, the people constantly, staring at the phones instead of actually, being in a mosh pit like it was before. It all became sad. I'm just scared of the future. Like if it's like that now, what's going to be like in 10 years?
There will always be something new. If Facebook is done or TikTok is done, there will be something new. There will always be something new. And do we need to adapt to it? I don't know. People who will look us up will maybe find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have good music, I think you automatically find an audience, and if people talk about you,
Yeah.
I also know a lot of bands, especially like in black metal, who refuse to use social media, who do not have a Bandcamp or a Facebook account, and yeah, they also get spread. There's also talking about those bands, so it can work. It can work, of course.
I
Yeah.
think it's cool. yeah, if I had a band, honestly, I would have chosen something like that, like not, not even promoting myself, like I'm doing what I'm doing. If people hear about it, like some small channel, people who are around you, and yeah, as you said, I agree on that. If your sound is good, if the music is quality, it will be spread, right? It will be not a problem. I even wanted to create my channel, my YouTube channel, and to contact the bands I like, my favorites, because here I don't always get the opportunity to get in touch with all the bands I like. But you know what? Like, it's hard. Like, it's hard. It's going to be hard because mostly bands go for, they already think you have a channel with a lot of views, a lot of followers, so it's hard, but still I'm gonna stick to it, and hopefully, yes, I'm
Yeah,
going to find.
just appreciate everybody who does takes the effort
Yeah,
to
of course.
just
Yeah,
reach out, answer, say, hey, how about this? Sure. If you
yeah,
make the effort, we appreciate all those independent people and small channels who support the scene. Is great.
definitely. Thank you. Yes, I think, yeah, definitely you will be welcome on my channel. Yes, right. Yes.
Sure.
And also, for the end, an important question, at least for me, I would like to know that. So, would you like to collaborate with someone, and what kind of thing would you like to make? Or is there some kind of wish to do some kind of side project, something very different from the sound you are doing right now? Did you ever think about it, maybe?
As a band or as an individual?
Well, both, actually. Whatever you have in mind at this point, yeah.
I wouldn't mind having some guest vocals of Mike Scheid from Job, to give an example.
Okay.
Um, and last 2 years, I have this little idea thing coming in my mind from maybe one day start a synthwave project or combine synthwave with black metal. That's something
Oh,
I did not start, but sometimes I think about doing something like that. But yeah,
nice, nice. I hope you will do that.
yeah, maybe
Definitely.
one day.
I wouldn't mind starting a project with Michael McKeegan from Therapy, who is a metalhead with he knows all the obscure dark metal bands. He is also in the post-punk noise scene, so that would be. I think we would get along.
Cool, cool. Well, I like your ideas, I must admit, and I really think it will come to life. But you must inform me. I would love to hear that. Definitely. And what about touring? Do you have wishes for touring with someone in the future, or did you organize something about the touring with your band?
I don't think we will ever be a touring band. If there is an opportunity to do like 4 or 5 days, like a mini tour, I think that will be possible. But yeah, we all have day jobs, families. So yeah, like really a touring band, that's not our ambition. But I wouldn't mind doing like a mini tour for
Yeah,
4 or 5 days. Even a week will be possible, I think.
yeah, like a EU UK tour
Yeah.
for 4 days, 5 days. I think that's feasible. But
Yes,
you cannot
definitely.
send us on the road for a month. That's impossible
No.
for now, at least.
Yeah, especially when you say you have jobs, you have families, and also I think it's exhausting. Like it's very draining. Not just emotionally, financially, physically. Yes, definitely. Okay, well, I think we we found out a lot of things, and I hope our viewers will enjoy this. But at least I hope you did. I was
Sure.
certainly. Yes, and I hope you will have a great the rest of the evening, and I hope to see you again in the near future.
All right.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you very much.
Yeah, guys, thank you and good luck with your release double show. I think it would be lit, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.